Karen's going to be giving a workshop, a mini workshop today for us. Heal your life. You can heal your life. Louise Hay. How many have heard of Louise Hay? She's been around since the early 80s. I bought the book way back when, 30 years ago. But she was yeah.
You're a godmother.
Well, we get to hear a lot more about it, so let's just get on with the show. Oh, God, thank you. It's our pleasure.
To everybody.
Yeah, our pleasure. Oh.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Even though you all know each other, I want you to turn to somebody next to you and say, hello, I'm so happy to see you.
Happy to see you. Hello. So happy to see you.
Happy to see everybody.
Hello. So happy to see you.
I'm always like that. I'm like a puppy dog. Anyway, good morning. I'm Rev Karen, Haughey, and this is my third time here, and it's always a pleasure to be a part of the healing community and like-minded conscious people, because if people like you don't have to explain myself. I don't have to explain what I really mean, you know, because a lot of people don't understand spirituality and they run from it.
You think it's a church.
And actually, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my story, because I was actually one of those people prior to 1984, and spirituality was, I heard about, you know, they're like woo-woo, and it's like, yeah, but it's like, I was about as plastic as you can get. I worked for corporate America for over 20 years, doing plastic things. And, but anyway, God had a different idea. You tell me.
Oh, yeah.
I got some work for you to do. And I'm telling you what, I was not spiritual when this happened, okay? So, 1984, I'm driving to Birmingham. I'm on Highway 280, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving to my little plastic job. And out of nowhere, and no how, a vision appeared to me of angels. There were two of them, I saw them in full bleeding color. One had its hand over the other, one was looking back, the other one was looking forward. And it was like I was looking up at the Sistine Chapel. And most people say, well, did you see it outside of the windshield, or was it more in? Well, it was kind of in between. They were there, not only outside of me, but inside of me, and it filled me up. And I heard, like I'm hearing my own voice, paint what you're seeing. Paint it large, and paint it as soon as possible. And I didn't go, what? You sure you got the right number? And I listened. And that's one of my messages this morning to all of you, is to listen. If you hear something for you, especially for you, don't run from it and go, it's my imagination, blah, blah, blah. Listen, intently listen to it. I listened to it. I painted that piece within 2 weeks' time. And the most common question that was asked of me after everything was said and done, did I paint before? Yes, but not anything that was spiritual. I did graphic design, I did everything black and white, everything was very controlled and calculated, and schematics, and nothing angelic. Okay, so after the session, angels came out of the woodwork. I painted angels like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to pass this around. You can all kind of get a mini. That book is 20 years old now, so it looks like I do kind of craft at the edges. But But anyway, it's still online, yay, so I've got 20 years.
Yeah, I still have my pristine
Dang,
copy.
20 years! Where'd the time go? So anyhow,
Yeah.
after that vision, I painted angels. I painted and painted and painted and painted and painted like there was no tomorrow. I painted in watercolor, pastel, and collage. I kind of developed my own style. So, I thought there was something wrong with me because, first of all, I was making this spiritual transition within my soul. I gotta go to work because I gotta make a living. I gotta paint because this is my soul talking to me now. I have to paint. No, you gotta pay your bills. I was split right down the middle. And everybody, oh, you're woefully spiritual. No, it wasn't. I was going, you can't get me! At one level. And the other part of me is going, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I did do it. So, but it was in 1991 that I met Louise. And I started reading her books, Beginning of Your Life was the first one, and it spoke to me so deeply about how I could change my own life. And I adhered to it. So I wrote to Hay House. I want to talk to Louise. Like, who do you think you are, you know? They sent me a letter back. Thank you for sharing. Louise is touring, she's busy, blah, 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 blah. Spirit says, write the letter again. Do this. So I went ahead, and I don't take no easily. So I wrote the letter back, and didn't hear anything. So Visions of the Future came to San Carlos. Anybody remember the Circle Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to explain how that
I saw Kenny G there.
I have to explain that one.
Oh.
So anyway, I went to Visions of the Future. Louise was moderating that day, and she got up to adjust her microphone on stage, and I got up, it was in the front row seat, and I went, Louise! And I sat down and I'm going, did anybody see that? I remember like it was yesterday, I swear to God. And she said, you know, nice to see you too, so. There you are. So anyhow, I sat back down, I just took it all down all day long. Oh, this is so cool. So after the symposium was about 4 hours long, I was going out to my car. So there's that voice again. Go back in there, go meet her. And she was signing books. And I got up to her like, I've known her for 20 years. Hi Louise, I'm Karen Haughey. Did you get my letter? Like she doesn't get any fan mail. And she was very kind, and she looked at me and she says, no, but when I get home to San Diego in a few more days, I'll look to see if I did. What's your name? Karen Haughey. Okay, great. So anyway, she says, well, what do you do? And, you know, what prompted you to approach me? And I said, well, I'm an artist, and I paint angels. She goes, oh, you do? And that lit her right up. And it was like, so she says, I paint too. I'm a novice, but I paint too. She says, do you teach? I said, yeah. And she called me at my house. And she left a message on a recorder with no number. I'm like, I got all of you now. I couldn't believe it was her on the phone. And so she called me back in a few days, and she says, can you come to my home and teach me to paint? Is the Pope Catholic? There's a bear poop in the woods, so do you want me to be there? Yeah, right. And so we made this tremendous connection, and I transformed my own life, okay? Sort of a little hill from upstairs. And then I believed for the first time in my life, there's something bigger than me. And my life was never the same again. So I went on and I trained to teach her classes. I got certified, but she also kind of tucked me under her wing She published the book in '95, and that's when everything hit the fan. I traveled all over the country talking about changing my consciousness from non-belief to belief, to asserting myself into believing who I am, and not from what I feel I have to be. So I can tell you standing right here and now that if you believe in yourself and you have something that you want and you have an intention in your life, and I can't say that word loudly enough, adhere to it. And don't think that's the silliest thing I ever heard, and somebody's going to think I'm crazy if you say it loud. I thought I was going crazy. I'm going to paint angels and I'm going to quit my job. They're all like, sure you are. I mean, everybody thought I'd lost it. And then that came out and I started to believe. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I really blew everybody's mind, and then I decided to become a minister, and everybody's going, what happened to Karen? She's disappeared. My consciousness had completely changed. My idea of God had completely changed. And then I went to work for the hospitals. And the way I got that job, my first job at the hospital was back in 1998 at Medical Hill in Oakland. I just gave them my resume and they're like, oh, when can you start? I'm like, I thought there was somebody behind me. And it just kind of all was divinely orchestrated. And I look back since the 90s and I'm going, how did that happen to me? Because I was so, my consciousness was not even close to believing in such things. But I guess God had another idea. You know, it's like if you hear something God's calling you, it's not your fairy godmother, it's real thing. Listen, listen, listen. And I don't care if anybody else tells you it's the stupidest thing they ever heard. Do it anyway. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. I was terrified at first. I didn't think. I thought maybe they're right. There was a time I even broke brushes in half. I'm never going to paint again. This is crazy. God's still pulling me at the nape of the neck going, oh no you don't. You're still going this way. So I'm not telling you it's not scary, it's intimidating on many levels. But if you have the fire and you'll know when it's there, then do it. Do it. I changed horses in midstream in my 40s. Whoa! Everybody's going, you're too old to change gears. Oh, come on. Age is just a number. So, I want to give you some of Louise's philosophies, and I hope that you brought something to write on, because the things I've learned from her, I've learned, gosh, I mean, she's been in my back pocket since since 1990 actually. And that was a long time ago. So, anyway, take heed. All right, so I'm going to give you laundry lists, if you will. And you probably heard me do this lecture many times. Every time I'm here, I keep doing the same thing, but it's such good stuff that I want to spray it all. I wish I could take a hose. Okay, you're all getting it now.
I'm hearing it with new eyes and new ears that I did last.
Every time you learn, every time I go visit her, I learn something new. I mean, every time I read the book again, I learn something different. So, first of all, what is your intention? Write that down. What is your intention for your life? Y-O-U-R, your life. So important that you pay attention to your intentions. Absolutely, your intentions. And think about it. The answer may be right at the tip of your tongue. It may come a year from now. But keep praying, asking, affirmative prayer, what is my intention for this lifetime? And I believe we do it over and over and over until we get it right. So anyway, and then ask yourself, what is my purpose? How is my purpose being served to others? It's so vital because, we're not an island. And, it's like I'm very fortunate because I love my job. And I work with neurobehavioral patients. And I'm telling you, they're my best teachers. They've got the kindest, dearest, most authentic souls on this planet. And I walk into a room of 75 of them, and and I'm like going, okay, I'm doing the best I can here. But they know I love them. I love them from my heart, not for anything, any other reason. And that's another thing. That's a very highly specialized field. And I still wonder, why me? Why was I put in this position, and why was my life changed so erratically? I still to this day ponder over the black and whiteness of my professional and personal life. An amazing transition. So, anyway, think of your purpose. It's very, very important. Even think of your purpose and why you are here. I know we're all here for a reason, even though we may not think we are. We're here for a reason to help one another. And that's the whole reason to be alive, I believe. If you can give one person a piece of this authentically, without any other reason, then you've already given them a great big gift. Always come from here. Kindness is my religion. That is on the back of my car. And I've got people in the parking lot, pictures of it. And I got this one day, and she says, "Is that your car?" And I went, "Yeah." She says, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." Dalai Lama wrote that. And I didn't know it until after the fact. But I loved it so much, I said, "I hope he doesn't mind." And because he's, talk about not feeling worthy, oh my God. But such simplicity. Spirituality doesn't have to be complicated. It's about consciousness and how we live our life daily. Doesn't mean we don't get upset or not human, because we all are. But we still have our humanness. But darn it, when we're not in our humanness, then embrace and love each other and help one another. And that's what the whole message is about. So, first thing she taught me was how to love myself. And I thought that was the most vain thing I'd ever heard. She had mirrors all over the house. Look in the mirror, see how you feel. I'm going, just change it. I used to get sick all the time. Change it. She says, "You're the tail wagging the dog. Change your consciousness." I'm one that used to run to the doctor for breaking a fingernail. And she says, "Do you like being sick?" And I'm going, "No." Change it. The woman is 85 years old now.
Wow.
No, she's 88 now. And she's still as beautiful as ever. And I tease her because she's doing it. But, she was a runway model. But, her history was not one of spirituality either. She had gone through tremendous obstacles to get where she was. But she adhered to that. And, man, can she paint? Wow. But we used to paint. And the most humbling thing that she'd ever said to me was, we were in her studio one afternoon, and I almost had to go back, you know, but she looked at me squarely and she says, "Am I doing this right?" I felt like saying, "You're asking me?" And I said, "Yes, you're doing it fine." But I thought that was kind of humbling coming from her, you know, because I thought she could do anything, you know. But, you know, she's just like you and I. She's a person just like you and me. We all have our frailties. So her first thing is stop all criticism. And write that down.
What's it called?
Stop all criticism. Stop it. Don't do that. She says, if you criticize anybody, you're creating a toxicity. You know, subconscious mind runs with everything you say. You say, you're stupid. Well, you're telling yourself the same thing. And it goes around. Consciousness goes around. It doesn't just go, you know, smeared in the face. It comes back. So don't criticize yourself, especially. Stop. And boy, did I do a lot of that. And she says, don't scare yourself. Don't scare yourself. Don't traumatize yourself with your thoughts. Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but what if? Yeah, but what if? And I was notorious for that when I first started to paint professionally, because I'm going, you know, maybe they won't like me. You know, and I was going, terrorizing myself with my own thoughts, and I had to quit it. You know, how am I going to make a living being an artist? That was huge for me. Huge. And I'm going, you know, I can't paint 14 paintings on my paper. You know, and my logical mind would get so much in my way that I couldn't see beyond it. When I opened my office in 1997, that was the scariest thing I'd ever done, because I'm sitting there looking out the window going, how am I gonna come up with that money to make my, you know how much my rent was? $250 a month. And shaking in my boots going, oh, I can't afford that. And I'm telling myself, I can't. And I had to stop myself, thank you for sharing, and say, I can. Not I want to, I can. So, be kind to your mind.
So how did you make the first month's rent? What happened for you then? The first month's rent, how did you come up with it? I'm curious.
Things came. It was like Build It and They Will Come, that movie. It's just like things just started to, things that I never expected that came because I trusted. I started to learn, for the first time in my life, I started to learn how to trust spirit and the process and the flow of life. I started to trust it because I was the spookiest person I ever knew. I was like, oh, and everything was scary, you know, nobody's gonna hurt me, and I'm gonna do anything, you know. God, I hated that about myself. And I had to change it. I had to forget it. Praise yourself. Praise yourself. Tell yourself how good you are. I'm the nicest thing I've seen all day. I'm the nicest person I know. And it's not like you're being phony, you know. Praise yourself and tell yourself how good you're doing with every little thing. You don't need somebody to come over and pat you on the back and say, good job. You know, do a self-assessment. You know, you'll know if you're messing up. You'll know it. Your soul will say, excuse me, let's change this and do it again. But praise yourself for every little thing, because praise will build your inner spirit up. It'll make you grow, it'll make you feel better. And mirror work. Oh, the mirror work. Oh my God. Oh. That was tough because when you look in your own eyes, you can't lie to yourself. So when you look in the mirror, do affirmations in the mirror. Praise yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself you're doing a great job in the mirror. And when you look back into your own eyes, you'll know. You'll just know whether you're lying to yourself or not. And so start to tell yourself good stuff in the mirror. Pay attention to what's staring back at you. Because you can't run from that face. It's going to be with you the rest of your life. So look in the mirror and say, hey, yeah, I might be alone today. Check in. Check in. Check in. And then reiterate the good stuff. Positive affirmations. So, very, very important. Now, I want you to make another list for me. This time, this is like self-house cleaning, I guess you might want to call it. But it's like, Louise used to tell me that everything that we're taught by the age of 5 will stick unless we decide to change it. Like me being a hypochondriac, for instance. You know, I would go outside, my mother would say, you're going to get sick. You're going to get sick. You got to bundle up, you're going to get sick. And you know what? I believed her. And I was sick all the time. I was sick all the time. I had everything from pneumonia to you know what. I mean, I was sick all the time. And till she asked me that one day, do you enjoy that? No. Change it. Change it. You change it. Your mind is powerful. Our minds are powerful. It's how we use that power. And it's not being cocky or vain. It's how we, you know, God gave us that power for a reason, to do stuff with it, to build up people, to help other people, to help ourselves. What you put out comes back. That's what I love about this heart, because the heart goes in there and comes right back to center. Right back to center. So, we're the most special person in our lives. So don't forget it. So, laundry list. All right. What is your fundamental belief systems? And some of these may push your buttons, but you know, if something negative comes up, check into it. Ask myself, why am I feeling negative? Where's that message coming from? Who am I getting that message from? Is it an old message? Is it new? But this is it. So, fundamental beliefs about men. What were you taught about men? What do you believe about them today? And you don't have to write down the answers now, but this is interesting homework. Self-evaluation. Second one is women. Beliefs, fundamental belief system about women. Okay. The next one is love. Next one is intimacy. Intimacy. Okay. Your body. What do you think about your body? Okay. And your health. Okay. And aging. Aging. Success. Prosperity. Lack. Lack of anything. Ooh, mountain milk. Ooh. Gotta go to the store, Mom. You know. So, anything that pertains to lack, think about. It could be lack of money, it could be lack of love, it could be lack of anything. And check into what that feels like. And write it down. Okay? And the next one is God. Belief in God. All right. So, again, she's used to ran into my head, these are old, if any of these old beliefs don't feel right to you anymore, then clean the house. Clean the house. It's like a lot of us are brought up with certain religious beliefs. Well, all that was shattered once I learned about spirituality versus religion. Big difference. And so, I was in there, that doesn't feel right, that doesn't feel right, and so a lot of these issues were challenges for me intellectually. I'm going, oh, okay, I want to change my belief about prosperity and success, and what I'm putting out is coming back to me multiplied. I'm one of those weird people who used to pay for the car behind me on the bridge, and the reactions were like, what does she want?
Yeah.
But you're trying to get out of it. Right?
Yeah, I know, exactly. And, paying, I got people behind me at Safeway with one item in a basket. Go ahead of me.
Yeah.
What? And they really? They question me, really? Yeah, really? And they think that's the strangest thing they ever see. And I'm going, it's just because I care and I have a respect for you. Oh. Random acts of kindness. It's so easy and it's so much fun. I love that stuff. So, and think about your strengths. Your strengths. What is it you feel your strong suits are? What do you think you're strong at? What are your assets? And conversely, your deficits. What do you think you need to work on? What are you working on currently in your own lives? And how can you make that better? And there again is intention. What do I want to paint for myself instead of going around and around and around? And there is where your soul lies. There is where you excel and acknowledge God. He's my hero. Yay, hooray for God. So, and I don't think so much of God as an old man with a long beard. I think of him as something inside of me. Even in Scripture, it says the kingdom of God is within.